All right, welcome back. So in the previous video, we learned how you can execute your first container. You literally executed multiple Docker commands. We saw how to list images, how to run a container, how to kill a container. Okay, so those were the multiple commands which we executed. We even passed few arguments, which I told that I will tell you later. And this is the video where we are going to learn it. But the question remains, do I need to memorize all those commands? The answer is straight away no, because if you understand the structure of Docker, then it would be easier for you to write the commands, right? In this video, we are going to understand the command structure which are used in Docker. So let's get started. So the Docker structure is classified into three segments. First is command, option, and arguments. If you understand this, then you can literally write any Docker command. Okay. Now let's start from the basics. So here we have the first thing, that is Docker. Now, what does Docker signifies? It tells the system, okay, that Docker will do the job. For example, if you want Docker to list the image, what command you use? You will use Docker images, right? So the system will get a notification, hey Docker, list the images. So the user will type Docker images and the images will get listed. And second is the command. So it tells Docker what action to perform. Okay. And this goes to Docker program. Okay. So backend, when you run Docker images or Docker PS, this is something that has been referred. Now, option. Now, in the previous video, you might have seen that I was passing the options -d, -p for port mapping, -d for running it as a background image, right? As a background container, background process. So those were the options which I was passing. So this gives us the clarity that if we want to run a service into background mode, or if we want to do port mapping, that can be done with the help of option. Okay. Last is arguments. So arguments are the image name, or it can be container. So if you want to sum it up in a single word, let's say if you want to run an Nginx image, how will you do it? So Docker run -it, okay. And then since I want to run it into background process, I added -d, and then I will do the port mapping -p. Then I will map the host port along with the container port. And then I will pass the argument. So it would be the name of image and it will be converted into a container, right? So let's move forward. Now, whatever I said, let us visualize the same. So it contains of command, options, and argument. So basically here Docker, it mentions that the system tells the system to use Docker, and in order to perform the operations, it will need the command. So it will tell Docker what actions to perform. Now there can be multiple actions that we can do. If we can run, we can build, we can pull, and we can stop, right? These are the multiple actions that can be done with Docker. Now, we provide option to modify the command behavior. Let's say if you want to run something at the backend as a daemon process, you will pass -d. If you want to do port mapping, you will pass -p. And if you want to rename something while execution, you will pass -hyphen name argument, -hyphen name option, right? And that will actually rename the container when you run Docker PS. And at the end, it will expect you for an argument, and that argument can be your image name, it can be your container name, or it can be a file path. Okay. Don't worry if this sounds too much technical or too much theory. We are going to do the hands-on, and at that time it will make sense to you. Now, what sort of commands do we have? So the commands in Docker are categorized into two sections. First is image commands and container commands. There are system commands too, but that is something that we will cover in the later video. But for now, let's focus on image commands and container commands. Now, image commands are used to manage images, whereas container commands are used for managing the container images. For example, the image commands can be Docker pull, build, init, and RMI. Okay, we are going to make use of all these commands in today's video in the hands-on, and it will make sense to you. When it comes to container commands, it can be Docker run, Docker ps, Docker start, Docker stop, and Docker rm. And all of these commands we saw in the previous video. But today I'm going to tell you exactly with the Docker structure, so that it will help you to understand how does the commands are fed, right? So let's get started, and let's start with the practical demonstration. So I already have booted my EC2 instance, and let me just do an direct sh. I'll just copy the sh command and I'll go over here. Yes. Okay, let me open the structure over here so that it would be easier for me to explain you each and everything. Now, let me clear the screen. And the first thing that I will check is whether the service is up and running. So system CTL status Docker. Okay, so here it says the system is up and running. All right. Now, the first thing is I want to pull an image. So for that, I have the command docker pull. So if you go through this command structure, we just need to make use of docker and command. And there is no need for passing the options and argument. Okay. So let's say I want to pull Nginx. So docker pull Nginx. Okay. So what it did, it first checked it's first added the default tag that is latest, and then it searched for the image in my local. Now, since it was not present, it pulled it from Docker Hub, and finally the image is present now. Now, what will happen if I rerun this command once again? So it will say that the image is up to date and the tag that we are using is Nginx latest. All right. This time it didn't went to Docker Hub. It literally checked in my current system. Now let me go to the last slide that we were referring to. That is Docker images command. Okay. Let us explore all of them. So first we made use of Docker pull. Now let's say we want to list all the images which are present. So I'll just write Docker images. And here all the images which are present are listed over here. And here you can see Nginx latest, which we just pulled, is listed over here, right? And let's say I want to remove an image. So let's say I want to remove Ubuntu image. So how will I do it? So Docker RMI remove machine image, and you can either pass the image or you can either pass the image ID. Okay. Now here we got an error. Why? Let us go through it. Error response from daemon conflict unable to delete Ubuntu. It should be forced. There is a container that is using this image. All right. So let me just check the current running container. All right. We can see there are no container running, but there must be a container which was referring it earlier. So we need to delete all the containers which are using Ubuntu image. So what will I do? I'll just remove all these container. Now, since these container already did their job, that's the reason they are under the status exited. So how do I remove a single container over here? So I'll just write docker rm and I will add the container ID, or even I can pass the container name. So I'll just pass the container ID. And this is so I will remove the container. Let me clear the screen. Let me rerun the command once again. That is docker ps-fne. Now here you can see we have the containers which are utilizing busybox image, Alpine image, Ubuntu image. And now since we want to remove the container that is utilizing Ubuntu image, let me remove that one. So docker rm to remove the container that is utilizing the Ubuntu image. All right. I passed it, and let me clear the screen. And now when I run docker images, we can see Ubuntu is present over here. Now in the current scenario, there is no container which is referring to Ubuntu image. Now it is the perfect time for us to delete it. And this time it won't throw any error because no container is referring to this image. So I'll write docker RMI remove machine image, and I can either pass the ID or I can even pass the image name. This time I will pass the ID, and you can see it is deleted now. If I rerun docker images once again, you can see Ubuntu image is deleted now, right? How clear is that? So the only difference when it comes to removal of image and container is when you want to remove a Docker image, you will make use of Docker RMI. And when it comes to removing a container, you will just make use of Docker RM. I hope that is clear to you. Let me just clear the screen. And now let us make use of the command structure to run the Nginx container. All right. So let me just list the Docker images. So Docker images. Now what I want to do is I want to run Nginx. So for that, we have the command docker run. Okay. Now I want to run this Nginx. Now, since it is a service, I want to run it into the background. I will pass -t. Okay. And I want to do the port mapping. So for that, I will pass -p. Now here, if you see, we are using docker command, and now I am passing the option. So here the docker. Okay. I need to first correct the spelling. Let me just correct it. Okay. So here we pass docker. It will tell the system to docker that run this image, right? So we specified docker, and here we pass the command run. Okay, we made use of command and this will tell Docker what action to done. Here we are asking Docker to run something. Okay, and then we are passing the option. Here we pass the option to -t to run that service into background. Now, since we want to do the port mapping, we passed -p. Now, what we want to do, we want to map the host port with the container port. That's why we pass 8000:80. Nginx runs on port number 80, and on the host we want to leverage it on port number 8000. That's why we passed 8000 over here. If you want to change this to 8001, go for it. Okay, now Docker run -d -p. We did the port mapping. Now, what's the next thing? It's the argument. Okay, now argument is it expects you to write the image name or the container name. So what's the image name over here? The name of the image is Nginx over here. So I'll just write Nginx. That's it. But again, one more thing. In the previous video, I told you how you can name your container, right? So that is also I'm going to tell you today. But for now, let's just execute this command. All right, when I run docker ps to list the running container, you can see Nginx is up and running. But here, how do I refer this container? Because you can see currently, if I just zoom out, you can see the name of the container is equivalent Walhart. I don't want that name. I want to give a custom name. How do I do it? So let me just do a little bit zoom once again, and I'll just rewrite that command once again. But let me just change the port number. This time the port number should be 8002. And I want to rename this container instead of equivalent Walhart. I want some custom name. So I will pass hyphen name and I will pass the name of the container. So I want the name to be Nginx container followed by the image name. And when I press enter, the container is created. And let me just list the container docker ps. And here, this time you can see when I zoom out, earlier, the container which we were using, it was equivalent Walhart, but this time the name of the container is Nginx container. So here, what we made use of? We made use of the command structure, and it was very easy for us to do the reference. So here we mentioned Docker, so it will tell the system Docker to do the job. But what job needs to be done? For that we will need to pass a command. So here we pass the command name run, and then we pass the option -d -p. Okay, and then we passed one more option, that is name. Okay, all these options are passed. Then we pass the last thing, that is the argument. We pass the name of the image, and then it converted it into a container, and now it is up and running. How do I validate this, whether it is actually up and running? I will go to my browser, okay, and I'll go to instance. I will copy the public IP, and first thing I will check is the security group. Here, I will check whether port number 8002 and 8001 is open or not. So I'll go to edit inbound rule. Here I can see port number 8000 is open. I'll just change it to 8001, and I one more rule for adding port number 8002 so that we can verify both the containers are showing the same result. I'll just save it and I will open a new tab, http:// followed by the public IP, and I will add port number 8001. Enter. Here you can see a welcome message from Nginx. Now let me check what will happen if I change the port number to 8002. Okay, it is taking load. Okay, now you can see it is again running on port number 8002. We made use of Docker command structure, and it was very much easier for us to go through it, right? I hope this video made sense to you. Today we learned about the command structure. After this video, whenever you are writing any Docker command, it would be very much easier for you because you will be referring this command structure. Now, if I ask you to run an Ubuntu image, how would you do it? So this is the homework for you. Let me know in the comment. So yeah, that was all, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you very much and keep learning.